Thank you for making Saints Central
your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Yeah. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Funny like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Was popping. Shout out to the fam. We up in this thing, man. Coma representing week 1, the black and gold in the building, hosting the Tennessee Titans. Because it was so littered and loaded with all kind of craziness, man. Craziness of all epic proportion. Craziness. But yet and still, we were able to get the dub, and I'm happy about that. So, anyway, that's that. We'll get ready to go into the recap store right here as the Saints get the victory, 16-15 in an ugly way, and we secure the job. But anyway, the win's a win, right, fam? A win is a win. All right, so let's get into it. 16-15. Let's go final with it. Saints handle the business. They get the dub. The defense makes it happen. It's just cool, man. It's cool we got the dub. I'm happy we started the season off with the win. An ugly win is still a win. It's a lot to clean up on. We're going to hear Dennis Allen come out and use his favorite term, which is we got to clean that up. So just to get y'all self ready for it, you got to clean it up. We got to clean it up. All right, he do. Trey says we have to find an answer for that O-line was just exposed and the whole NFL will be watching. It was tough. Credit to the Titans, and I'm going to say this again. The Titans was the best rush stuffing unit in the league last year. They allowed barely 75 yards a game. What was the toll today? The Saints got right at the end of it, and they kept punching away until Jamal Williams was able to get a better gain, and the Saints finished out with 58 yards today. So the Titans seem like their rush defense is going to be much improved this year, and they still, from an offensive standpoint, were able to keep the Saints. Well, if you look at their offensive numbers, the Saints had 282 yards throwing the ball, 282 against 58 yards rushing, even though they tried to run the ball. They had a total of 26 rush attempts for the game. So credit to the Titans defense, man. We knew that was a strength of the squad. And also from the offensive standpoint, they need to pick up some IQ points because they overused Ryan Tannehill. They should have used Derek Henry more when he had the rhythm. They went away from him, and he fell off the map. Really awful. But anyway, credit to my black and gold Saints and your black and gold Saints. Let's hit up the team statistics here. First down, Saints 16-14 in favor of the Titans. Saints had 12 passing first downs versus 6 of 15 on the play. 6 of 15 on third downs. The Tennessee Titans were 2 of 12 on the day. 2 of 12 for the Titans on the day as we get ready to wait for Dennis Allen and them to pop up here. They'll be up here in 6 minutes, so y'all just stay with us. And then we'll shift to the Saints press conference with Dennis Allen. We'll have that covered here live, so y'all stay right where y'all are as the Saints gather the win 16 to 15. All right, so anyway, going back to it, 63 total plays by the Saints versus 59, 340 total yards versus 285, 12 total drives to 12, 5.4 yards per play versus 4.8 by the Texans. Saints had 282 passing yards versus 181. Attempts right there, you see 23 of 33 by the Saints for 7.6, 16 to 35, 16 to 34 for almost 5 yards per throw by the Titans. I'm sorry. And then, of course, the rushing statistics, as you can see, rushing 104 yards worth of rushing by the Titans on 22 carries, averaged almost 5 yards per run. Had they stuck with that, it might have been a different game for the Saints. 58 rushing yards by the black and gold, 26 attempts, a 2.2 yard average. That must improve. And that's because you were running up against a Titan team that was one of the best last year doing it. So it looked like they've gotten a little bit better, right? And, of course, the red zone, Saints defense stopped the Titans offense. They were 0 for 3 in the red zone, 1 for 3. The Saints were in the red zone. 6 penalties for 45 yards. Some kind of way the Saints got 7 penalties. They had 2 at halftime. They got 4 penalties in the second half for a grand total of 7 to 45. 3 turnovers by the Titans. You had 3 Titan turnovers, and you only beat them by 1 point. You know, we got the dub anyway. 3-2 on the turnover battle. Saints turned the ball over twice. And time of possession, Tennessee led it 31-20 versus 28.5 by 28-05 by the Saints in the matchup. Going to the box score, the individual statistics, Carr finished the day for the black and gold, 23 of 33 for 305, 9.2 on the average. He had 4 sacks today on him. But he finished with a rating of 96.1. So despite the fact that the game was ugly, he still had pretty respectable numbers for his first start as a Saint. 23 of 33 for 305, 9.2 yards, almost 10 yards per throw, 1 touchdown, 1 pick there, which I don't know what he was doing with that. Jamal Williams had 18 carries in his debut as a Saints running back starter for 45 yards, 2.5 yards per rush. That was awful. His best run came on the back end of the game when he ran for 11 and then got the ball punched out. Credit to him, he recovered it. The next closest running back was Rashid Shaheed on the end of rounds, 2 for 11 on the play. Going to the wide receiver game, Chris Olave finished with 8 catches off of 10 targets for 112 yards. Rashid Shaheed had 5 for 89 off of 6 targets. He had also a touchdown. Mike Thomas in his first game back had 5 catches for 61 yards, averaged over 12 yards per catch. His longest was the 25. Mike had 5 catches off of 8 targets for 61. Juwan Johnson had 3 off of 5 for 36 in the game. Jamal Williams 2 for 2 for 7 yards from that spot. And, of course, you see the turnovers there. And if we go defensive, Demario Davis was the top man for the Saints defense. 10 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Pete Werner, 8 tackles for in the game with a half a sack in the game as well. And, of course, Carl Granderson showed up big time in the matchup. Carl had a sack and a half. Cam Jordan had a half a sack. Cam finished with a half a sack in the game. And I want to see Brian Breesy had one, didn't he? They gave Breesy a half of one. I want to say he got most. I don't know how they did that because it looked like to me he had it. But anyway, Saints finished the game with 3 sacks on the matchup. Carl Granderson in his first start, a sack and a half. So how about that for Carl? Getting out of the way. Interceptions galore for the black and gold secondary. Laddie Daddy should have had 2 in the game. He dropped one that could have been a pick 6. And Hugo Amadi had one that should have been one. It should have been 5 interceptions in this game. But Marcus May had one off the deflection from Isaac Yidam. Laddie Daddy jumped the route on one. He had one. Paulson Debo had one as well. Really easy ones right there. Kick returning game. Rashid Shaheed returned all of the kicks and punts for the team. On the kick return, 5 for 110, 22-yard average. Rashid Shaheed 2 for 6 on the punts. Blake Grupe, shout out to our young rookie punter. Without his production, the Saints would have lost. If he'd missed one of these, the Saints would more than likely have lost the game. Blake Grupe had 3 for 3 on our field goals today, including a 52-yard field goal And he was 10 points on extra points. Extra points. He had 1 on extra point. So he had 10 points altogether to help the Saints get into the victory column. Lou Hetley, our other rookie, had 5 punts, one of which was inside the 20, but he averaged 48.2 yards per punt, 241 yards. So the Saints start off on a note. They get the W in a rough way. They got Carolina coming up next, but we get out of the dome with a W. Ryan Tannehill, 16 of 34 for 198, had 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times. His rating was 28.8. Guy was awful today. Derek Henry, 15 carries for 63 yards. Looked like he was promising. They just went away from him. Tajay Spear had 3 for 27 in the matchup. Hopkins was their top receiver, 7 for 13, 65 yards, averaged 9.3 yards per catch. Nick Westbrook Icknine, if that's how you pronounce it, 4 catches for 58 yards off of 7 targets. Derrick Henry had 2 for 56 off of 3 targets there. Treylon Burks, 2 for 18 off of 3 targets. So here we go as we get ready to get into, and we get ready to start into the Saints stuff. We'll get ready in a moment to hear from Dennis Allen as well. So let's hear from the family members in this one. Tell me what y'all thought about it, the game, how y'all feel about the game today. Y'all throw it in the chat and tell me how you guys feel about the Saints matchup today against the Tennessee Titans. We got away with one, 16-10. The Saints put up 10 points in the second half to help push out the team, eat the way of victory against this squad, man, which is still in all, a win's a win in my book, man. So it's good to see that happen for the black and gold. Let's go to our family members and see what you guys think about the win after the game here. Hold on, let me see if I can get everybody down. Y'all just scrolling, going. All right, good to see y'all in the building. All right, Jay says, did we actually learn how to close a game? 504 Cole says, big time dub. We still need our high blood pressure pills through Who Dat Nation. Hopefully to get a little better. Smoke says our Penning played better in the second half. Professor, shout out to the professor, said Titans and Saints both have good defenses. Yeah, the defense today did a wonderful job in terms of, the second half of the defense played better because remember the first half, the Titans were able to move the ball and do what they do because they were running the ball. Saints had no answer for Derrick Henry. All right, Valerie says Carr was clutch on the 3rd and 6th. I'm glad the Saints 1-0, but got a lot to work on. Indeed, Valerie, thank you. Dedrick says, was our O-line trash or is the Titans defense? I think it's a mixture of both. I think our offensive line must improve, man. Titans is tough up in the middle, man, no doubt about it. But ain't no way in the world the Saints got multiple first-round draft picks and guys that have been playing together as long as they've been playing on that offensive line and the stability that we have and our offensive philosophy, and you looked really – they manhandled the Saints defensive line out there. Timothy, shout out, says, bro, the Titans defense was tough. We got only a touchdown. That's what matters. That's right. They were tough. We won, baby. That's all that counts. Shout out to you, Mike. Tim, excuse me. Mott Dog, shout out to you. Said Penny need to go to the right side. Hey, bro, they're not going to do that. They're not going to switch them guys, bro. And truth be told, Ramczyk didn't play all that well. He didn't play worse than Penning. But when you see guys struggling, you got to help them. That's up to the coaches. That's what those adjustments about. Put a tight end over there, chip them, do what you got to do, give them a little help. Noel Origin says, the Titan, a tough physical team. We need that extra day to heal up before Monday night football. Thank you, bro. Shout out to you. K, what's happening? So our kickers were good today. Shout out to our young people, man. Our young kickers today. Blake Group A hit all of his field goals, including a 52-yard field goal, and you had a good performance by our rookie punter, as well, Hetley, who had averaged 48 yards per kick. So not bad. First week out. Let's keep that going. We know these are young people. They're going to learn. All right. So anyway, let's keep it going. Pammy says, Q, I told you, Group A. Well, I'm with you on it, Pammy. That's one game, baby, but that's big. I'm happy. I'm happy about it, really, for real. I'm happy about it, and he did well. All right. So anyway, Sean says Turner is through in New Orleans. He can't stay healthy. We'll see what's happening with Turner, bro. I don't know exactly, how it all play together, but we don't know. I know he grabbed his right foot during that, and he kind of went down. He grabbed his foot kind of weirdly, and they washed him out. He went to the tent, and they checked him out. Then they sent him to the locker room. His day was over with. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. We're going to figure all that out later on. But in the end, the truth of the matter is that he was in there doing some stuff, you know. Shout out, Troy. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, Sean says Tannehill is awful, man. He played awful in this game. If they would have not stuck with him, be that. But anyway, he go Dennis Allen, fan. Pull one in the chat if y'all can hear.
I think they're well coached, and I thought it was a heck of a game, and I was proud of our guys for being able to hang in there, and make just enough plays to win it. Guys made some plays. You know what I mean? Look, I thought the block punt gave us a little bit of energy there early in the game. And then I think our guys had opportunities to make plays on the ball, and they finished and capitalized on it. And I think that's probably something that we maybe didn't execute as much in the previous season, but our guys made some plays when they needed to, and it was good to see. I thought defensively, I thought it was pretty good.
Why did Marshawn come on for that play and then Yaddle making the play immediately?
It wasn't injury. I'm not sure exactly what it was in terms of why he came out. I think part of it was he got a little gassed a little bit, which is kind of to be expected. He missed a lot of time, and we played a lot of down safety. We played a lot of man-to-man, and he was having to cover receivers on every single down. So I thought he played a hell of a game. I thought our secondary made some plays on the ball. I thought it was tight in coverage. Everything they got, they had to earn. And I thought we did a good job up front being able to get a little pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, speaking of execution, how proud are you of the fourth quarter execution overall and going down the stretch?
Yeah, look, I mean, the best teams are able to finish in this league, and we were able to, get into a competitive game in the fourth quarter and make enough plays to win the game. So proud of the team for being able to do that.
Yes, it seemed like every time you went into the dime, you gave them a lot of trouble. What was it about that worked for you?
Well, look, I mean, I think it's a combination of rush and coverage. I thought our guys did a good job of executing the pass rush patterns that we had up front. We did a good job of being tight in coverage and not giving them easy completions for the most part. So I think that's the key to, good pass defense. You have to have both elements involved there. And I thought both elements were there in the game today.
Dennis, it was probably like a 50-50 decision based on analytics for the Titans there to take the field goal instead of going for 4th and 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Did you have a hope? I mean, did you want your defense to get a chance to close it out right there? Or,
I wanted to win the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, the ball's not in my court, but I was comfortable with whatever outcome we had because I had confidence that our offense could, run the clock out. And that's, exactly what we did. So,
obviously, Tennessee has a great defensive front, but when the run game is limited as much as it was today, does that really kind of handcuff everything you want to do on offense?
Yeah, look, I thought we weren't able to run the ball very effectively at all today. I mean, obviously, that's a good front that we played. They led the league in terms of run defense last year. So we knew it was going to be difficult to run the ball. But I thought that also made it a little bit more difficult in terms of protecting the quarterback early on in the game. I thought we did a much better job, as the game wore on of being able to get a little bit more protection for Derek. And, we started to be able to hit a few plays down the field. So, obviously that's something that we've got to improve on. And look, we're excited about the fact that we won the game against a really good team. And yet we know that there's a ton of stuff that we have to clean up. There's a lot of things that we have to get better at in really a short time to do it. So, we're going to enjoy this win, but yet we're going to start, we're going to turn our focus to Carolina and get ready for, a divisional opponent.
Did you make any adjustments in the pass protection, or was it just staying out of 3rd and long more often?
Yeah, look, we made a few, adjustments, got, a couple of chips over there, particularly to Trevor, to help him out over there. And so that's pretty common in our league. You go in with a plan and you have a few things and you see how things are working, and then you have to make some adjustments. So I thought our offense did a nice job of making a couple of adjustments to give us some, opportunities to make some plays.
Are you concerned by what you saw from him today?
From Trevor Penning?
Yeah.
No, I'm not concerned. This guy's going to be a good player. You got a young guy that's playing against a extremely good front. So does he have to get better? Absolutely. Am I concerned? No. I think we just keep our head down and keep going to work. And we'll keep getting better, and we'll make our evaluations, when we get to the end of the season, see where we're at. But I think this kid's going to be just fine.
You guys are always talking about iron sharpening iron. Do you feel like you saw that, I guess, especially defensively on this?
Yeah, look, I mean, our guys have been, competing for, what's it been the last, call it month and a half or so. And I thought we had a great camp. I thought our guys worked extremely hard. I thought they were focused on what we had to do in the game. I did think we were a little bit out of sorts early in the game. We had to kind of calm down just a little bit. And once we kind of got settled in, we did all right. But I thought, after the opening kickoff and turning the ball over like that, like we did, and then to have the defense go out there and force a field goal in that situation against a team that's been a really good red zone offense, I thought that was huge for our confidence, for our team.
That was the job that Derek did, and especially in those critical, at the end of the game, those kind of things. Overall, how would you grade how he did today?
Yeah, look, I thought there was a lot of good things that I saw. I'm sure there's a few things that we probably need to look at and maybe get fixed. I think early on in the game, like I said, I don't know that we did as good a job as we needed to in terms of getting protection for him. And once we kind of settled that in a little bit more, I thought you saw in the second half, I thought you saw a little bit more effectiveness in the passing game. But, we felt like there might be some opportunities, down the field and the big pass play there to Rashid there at the end. Obviously, the touchdown pass, those were big plays in the game.
I think Rashid handled the emotional highs and lows. He was involved in a lot of big plays, the near misses early.
Yeah. Look, I think overall he did well. You got to remember, here's another young guy that doesn't have a ton of experience and missed a ton of camp, And look, that was the first time that he'd ever been tackled since last season, And so those are all lessons that you learn, and obviously they're much easier to learn those lessons coming off a win.
How do you feel about the way that Blake Grupe, just managed this moment in a game where?
Yeah, I thought he kicked the ball well. The 52 yards. So the 52-yarder there was a huge kick in the game. So that was great to see the kid knock that thing through. I thought he kicked the ball off well. So I was pleased with the way he performed.
Speaking of defense, holding the Titans to 3 at the beginning, how critical was it for the offense to answer those 3 points?
Yeah, it was big. I think, one of the big differences in the game, obviously, is, the turnover takeaway ratio, I think, was a big factor in the game. I include the block punt in there. So if you said that, you'd say there was 4, takeaways in the game, 4 plays that changed, the field position and the momentum of the game. So I thought that was huge. And then I thought, with exception of the kneel down play at the end, we were 1 of 3 in the red zone. They were 0 for 3 in the red zone in terms of scoring touchdowns. So I thought that was a big factor in the game.
Can you talk about Carl Granderson's performance today, 1.5 sacks?
Yeah, look, I mean, Carl's been a guy that man, he's worked extremely hard, and he's just continued to get better and better and better, and I think that's a testament to the way that he works, because the guy comes in and he doesn't say a whole lot. He just comes in, does his work, does his job, and keeps getting better. So, guy with talent that's willing to work. I feel like we can help him be a better football player. He's kind of making his way into that.
It's just like a pump and go. Was that something you guys had seen on tape as far as the touchdown?
Yeah, it was something that we felt like we might have an opportunity, against them, and I thought Pete called it right at the right time, and I thought Shaheed. I don't know if it was the greatest route in the world, but he just ran by him, and Derek put it in a good spot, and so it was awesome. All good, brother.
You guys had to run the clock out there with a little less than 2 minutes left, and you get, I think, a second and long to put the ball in Derek's hands there and just let they go slant and win the game. What does that say about the trust y'all have?
Yeah. Look, we've been saying it. I've been saying it. I got confidence in our offense, and so when it's time to go make a play, we're gonna call the plays and make the plays that we need to make to win games. And I feel confident in our ability to do that.
And then it's after turnover on kickoff, how much did the crowd factor into how well your defense played?
God, that's a long time ago. I don't really. I mean, but yeah, look, the crowd was awesome, and look, I've said this. I told Demario this. Like this crowd is the best crowd in football, particularly when we're playing well on defense. And that's really our responsibility defensively, is to keep the crowd in the game. And so I think they were a big part, particularly early in the game.
Coach, from where Shaheed was last year, what does today's play say about his growth in a year?
Yeah, look, he's much further along than where he was at this point last year. And yet there's so much more growth available to that kid. I just see a ton of potential in him. I don't think he's anywhere near where he can be. And I'm excited about watching, him continue to grow as the season goes on. Go ahead, Ed.
Two really football savvy plays, like getting down in-bounds to burn the clock. You don't usually see that from a player, as you said, who doesn't have a lot of experience.
Yeah, look, I think, a couple things. Okay, I thought there was excellent communication going on from Pete to Derek to the guys in the huddle. So we all knew exactly what we needed to do on each one of those plays, and we all knew the importance of making sure that we stayed in bounds, and obviously he executed the play, just like we would have liked him to.
Dennis, how do you feel the defense contained Derek?
Look, I thought we did a hell of a job. The one screen play got out on us, and that would be probably the one play I'd like to have back. But other than that, I thought overall we did a pretty good job of minimizing what they were able to do offensively. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go to Demario.
Great job.
Yeah.
Am I good to go?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I got a lot to say, so y'all buckle up. I started to realize something. We play this game on Sundays, and it's really the Lord's day, and the day we should be worshiping the Lord. A lot of times, the players are getting worshiped, and we get to go on this ball field. So, since so many of us didn't get to go to church today, I have a word that I want to share. I know this is a little untraditional, so like I said, buckle up. Revelations 3:20 says, "See, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and dine with him and eat with him and he with me." I want to tell y'all about a knock that I heard this week. A lot of people don't know this, but on Friday, my daughter, she's 4 years old, she had her third epilepsy seizure attack. It's my same daughter who survived retinoblastoma. She's been totally cleared of that, but she had her third seizure, and it's been almost 2 years. She was about a month away. If she would have had no seizures for one more month, then she would have been off the medicine, but now we have to start that clock all the way over. It was on Friday when a bunch of kids were over at the house, and she was playing, and I noticed something was off. And I told her mom I thought she was having a seizure. Her mom is pretty good. She saw it, my wife, and we took her in her room, didn't want to cause a scene. And she started to foam at the mouth. And it was her worst seizure. For 30 minutes, she seized. She wouldn't come, and we had to call the paramedics. They came. And so over the course of time, it ended up being a total of 30 minutes. They got her in. My wife got in the paramedics with her. I got behind them driving. You can imagine all the thoughts that's racing through your mind. The last sight you see of your daughter is she's totally out of it. Got to the hospital, and my wife told me that my daughter stopped breathing in the car twice. So I'm, of course, praying. We get to the hospital. They give her a bunch of medicine. They should Caesar stop. She's laying there. And at this point, if she sees for 30 minutes, you start to fear there could be development issues that could mess with her brain. She stopped breathing. If there was no oxygen going to her brain, you're starting to think about her speech be slurred or anything, or worse. So we prayed and she had medicine and my wife and I had to stay overnight at the hospital. And in the middle of the night, probably about 3:00, I heard a knock. And the knock was my daughter. I prayed for her. I said, God, let this just be an attack from the enemy that's just trying to be a distraction, and let him have overplayed his hand and my daughter come back stronger than before. When I heard my daughter talk in the middle of the night, and my daughter, she doesn't have any development issues, praise God. She doesn't have any slurred speech, prior to this. She woke up talking clearer than she was talking before. Now, anyone who deals with epilepsy knows that it takes a few days for them to come back. They usually can get back to normal wherever they were, but it takes a couple of days. They're groggy. It's a lot because what their body is like, it's like the TV just staticking in their brain. She was talking clearer than before. And it was 3:00 and we heard her talk and we let her talk for about 20 minutes and said, hey, baby, it's nighttime. Let's go back to sleep. And I just prayed. I started saying, praise God, praise God. The next morning when she got up, my daughter was so sharp. She was able to talk to me and her mom. I mean, clear conversation. She's sharp for a 4-year-old. No stuttering. All her words clear. And my daughter, like I said, my daughter is already sharp. She was sharper than before. And if any of you were able to have a conversation with my daughter, you wouldn't know anything had ever happened. So we had a birthday party for my 7-year-old daughter that day. She got to be released from the hospital and she came back home. And it was as if nothing was happening. She was playing with the kids the day before. And she had the worst seizure that she had ever had. And the next day, she's back out there playing with the kids. Now, of course, we can't let her get overstimulated. We have to keep bringing her in, have to keep cooling her down. Can't let her do too much just because of protocol. But when I tell you, I got a chance to hear a knock from God. And what I want to share is we get to play this game and it's great. And there's so many amazing things that happen in that game. And everybody wants to hear about them. But when we leave this game, we go back to being regular people. And regular people are living life. And people are waiting for a knock. And the word says who Jesus is, he's knocking at the door. All you got to do is get up. And so on the way, man, I'm nervous, but I'm praying and I'm trusting and I'm believing. And I'm asking for my daughter to make it through. I'm asking that she's better than before. And God gave me just what I asked for plus some. I was blown away. And at that point, I knew, the game is going to take care of itself. My knock had already been answered. And I just want people to know, like, if you got stuff going on in your life, lay it before the Lord. Lay it before the Lord and trust. And be expecting of a knock. Because the word says what you have to do is you have to get up and open the door. He's not going to open the door for you. He's going to knock. But you have to be listening and waiting for the knock. And when you see it, you have to get up and open the door. And your blessing is going to be there. Now, I'm going to be here to talk about football next week. I wish y'all well. Happy Sunday and praise God. Thank y'all.
Uh-oh.
The big third down connection at the end there. What did you feel like that? What was kind of Monte going that way? What did you see on that?
Yeah, so it's funny. Derek, before the possession started, he came right up to me and he was like, just run as fast as you can. And I'm gonna throw it. So I knew going out there that he was going to give me opportunity. And, I was able to create some separation. He threw a great ball and I was able to get 2 feet in and, maintain that drive to maintain the win.
On that touchdown,
yeah.
How much have you guys been sitting on that one and sort of waiting for the right opportunity?
Yeah, it felt like we were waiting for forever. I had it in the back of my mind. I knew that the play was going to be called. It was just a matter of when. And I knew that I had to execute. And the play was perfectly executed. Derek saw me open and he delivered a great ball. And all I had to do was catch it.
It looked like you kind of stutter stepped a little bit in front of the guy and sort of caught him flat-footed. Is that kind of what you saw?
Yeah, that was the plan. Once I saw him flat-footed, I knew that I could just burst by him and, score a touchdown.
Can you speak to the difference in how you
Mhm.
in this year as well as your confidence level?
Yeah, no, I was so confident. I was just out there having fun, just enjoying the moment. Not getting too caught up in any of the stuff, just going out and playing football. And I felt completely different. I wasn't in my mind. I wasn't thinking. I just knew that I was prepared and I was going to come out and play the best game that I can.
Was the game a little slower?
Sorry,
Was the game a little slower?
it was 100%. Yes, sir.
To that point, DA talked about how you've grown so much in the past year. How do you analyze your growth on the field in the past year?
Yeah, I feel like I just said, the game is slowing down a lot. I've been taking more time in the film room and spending more time just focusing on the little things. And I knew that going into the season that would have taken me to the next level. And still a lot of work to do, but I'm definitely proud how far I've came.
How do you feel emotionally on the opening kickoff? You get the long touchdown, you get one of the touch plays to the gun.
Yeah, no, emotions were everywhere. It was a hard fought game. A lot of stuff that we had to clean up, but we got the win. That's all that matters. And the emotions are high right now. And we're going to enjoy this for the time being, but we know that we got to get back to work next week. Got a tough opponent. And the emotions were kind of up and down. My teammates kind of kept my head high. After the turnover on the first play, and I knew I was going to get more opportunities, so I just had to make the most of them.
Did that take a minute to get past that? Like, what is your process to get past that?
You kind of just got to just shove it in the dirt, move on to the next play. I knew that I was going to get more opportunities in the back of my head, and I knew that there was plenty more game to play. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
On the kickoffs, do you kind of have that opportunity to kind of make that decision when the ball's in the air about whether you're going to take it out or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Riz gives me full go on that, whether to take it out or keep it. He believes in me, and he believes in my decisions. Oh, yeah. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Great job, brother.
Good?
All set?
All right. Oh, I'm starving. I am starving.
Your thoughts on the first game?
It was a lot of fun. I'm glad we won. That's all I wanted to do. And that was one of the more physical games I've played in my 10 years. Very physical football game up in the trenches. But proud of our guys the way we bounced back in the second half and we're able to get that win. No, please. I'll talk too much.
Yeah, but that was good.
You're good.
On that last drive, do you want, I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway, do you want that shot to go to Rashid to try to put the game away?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's you, right?
Yeah, well, me and Pete talked about it on the sideline, and I told Pete that was a play that I liked, and he trusted Sheed and I to make the play. And the offensive line gave me time to throw it. And when he's that fast, I was just trying not to throw it out of bounds, and he ran a great route, caught it, all that. It's exciting, but that goes back to Pete trusting us. He asked me, what I liked throughout the game, all that kind of stuff. And before that drive, that was something that I really liked. And he called it, so that he has a lot of trust in us as players, and that means a lot as a player. Great route by Sheed. Ran a double move, came over in motion, double move. I tried to give a little pump right when he was settling his feet to try and get the corner to stop. And Sheed's so fast, it's really tough on a corner to get back started when he gets going. And so Sheed, ran a great route. Again, it's another play that, Pete had called up, dialed up, was like, hey, get ready, and I really enjoy, working with him and his demeanor throughout the game, because you kind of know what's coming, you know what to expect, and he calls them and he counts on us to make plays for him.
What does it say about Rashid to be able to bounce back from the opening kickoff and to be able to be available to help make those plays to get you guys a touchdown?
Well, it's a very veteran thing of him to do, a very, very grown up thing. Usually when young guys, make a mistake early, it's hard to get them, back focused. It's hard to get them back right for the rest of the game. And that's just the NFL. It's just over time you see that, and he made a play and no one blinked, no one flinched. But I was really proud of him. When something like that happens, his mindset and his demeanor was great. So when something like that happens, like, man, I hope he gets to make some plays, after to get that confidence back. Yeah. But from what it looked like to me, he didn't lose any because he came out and caught a lot of passes for us in some big situations. Yeah. Well, the exciting part was, everyone talked about the weapons and, throwing the ball and down the field and all that kind of stuff, that things we've been doing in camp. But we showed that we could win the ultimate physical type of game, right? You're good. Yeah, we showed we could win a physical football game. And we're going to have to be able to win in any kind of different way. And so I'm just glad that we hopefully got that one out of the way. No, I'm just kidding.
How proud are you to execute the drive to run out the clock to seal the deal?
Well, it felt good. It felt really good. Obviously, you could tell I wear my emotions on my sleeve sometimes. So I was real excited, real fired up. And, the one that got me the most excited was the run that creased at the end, because that's the one that did it. O-line, called it right. They blocked it right. Jamal made the right cut, got down, did exactly what Coach Ash said, get down. He did that. That right there is what makes me proud, because it's game on the line. We get this, we win. And we didn't have to put the defense back out there. That makes me happy.
Talk about your connection with Chris Olave as well as Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I think today was awesome because the ball was so spread around so much, and, Chris obviously went over 100, and that's fantasy people's favorite thing ever. And he did that for them. But, when we can spread it out, no matter who gets the 100, no matter who gets the touchdown, as long as we keep that mindset of big team, little me, hopefully we'll see a lot of good days for Chris and Sheed and Mike and Juwan and everybody. And so the fact that we were able to spread it around, everybody made their plays when they were called upon. That's good to see as a quarterback, because now I can trust them all. Now if they're doubling him or they're playing robber, I can go to this guy. I can trust him to win. It helps me with my decision making for sure.
Can you explain what you saw on that big throw she did on that last drive? You don't see a lot of things run the clock out.
Yeah, that's all Pete Carmichael, just trusting us as players. It's a play that we talked all game, and before that drive, it was a play that that him and I had talked about. I was like, Pete, I love this, and what was awesome about that, because it was our first game really playing together, with all the situations, all the scenarios, game on the line, and Pete trusted us, to make a play, and as a player, that means so much to us, that he would trust us in that situation to go get that for him, and for the team, and hopefully we can continue to do that, because he showed to us that he trusts us, so we got to keep proving to him every week that we can earn that.
So that was the design then to go to the sheet on that play?
Yeah, if they gave it to it, like if we had the one-on-one good release, all that. If not, I'd had something else. But yeah, for sure, we were trying to get it to sheet.
Derek, what about that you guys had been sitting on that double move, the one that turned into the touchdown? What was sort of origin of that? Like, were you guys talking about that last night as something? Like in the last few days, like when did you identify that and know that that was something you wanted to go to?
Well, we saw something in practice a couple of weeks ago. We're like, hey, it'd be kind of cool if we did this, and sure enough, as you watch the tape, you're like, man, it looks kind of good in this situation to call it. And we ran it at practice. We actually didn't connect on it in practice, funny enough. But today we connected, and those are the ones that matter.
Derek, what about the defense? Just talk about the way that they play. What does that do for you as a quarterback?
If they don't play that well and we lose the game, everybody's mad at me, and rightfully so. And that's how it should be as a quarterback. And this is the ultimate team game. This is the ultimate team game. It takes all 11 on the field at once, all three phases. And, all three phases had some plays that they'd like back, but all three phases played their butt off and played physical and grinded and did anything they could to win. So, anytime we can get a win, yes, I'm so proud of our defense. Yes, I'm so thankful, with the takeaways that they got and, kind of washed ours away, and helped us in that. But like they would say, they expect us to finish the game, just like we expect them to get us the ball back. And as long as we keep that expectation for each other, knowing that, hey, if it doesn't happen, we got your back, we'll take care of it. Keep that kind of mindset. I think we're going to have a good season.
Talk about how physical it was during the game, especially in the first half. Tell us a little bit about your ability to maybe sit in that pocket a little bit longer in the second half and make some of those throws.
Well, that's all the offensive line. I try my best to not be a statue, but be back there to let my guys get open and let them run. And when I have to get out, try and go get as many yards as I can or make a play with throwing it. But they did a great job in the second half. And this is without watching the film too. They made it just be like, all my fault, But, in the second half, it just felt, felt better. The timing of things, whatever, however it worked out, it was just better. And very proud of those guys. I think everybody, offense, defense, everybody felt like a little rusty on this or on that. It's week one, and you hate to say that, but it always happens. But we cleaned it up really fast, and we're able to bounce back to get the win.
You said you've been waiting for this game for a long time. How did it feel emotionally to finally get that first touchdown after you had been grinding it out with field goals most of the game?
Yeah, it felt great. But again, in that situation, that was the expectation. We got to score. We got to get a touchdown, to win this game. And thankfully we did. And I tried my best, until the game's over to stay, here. And like I said, I get emotional. But after that touchdown, it's like so fun. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, cool, first touchdown. And then like literally half a second later, it's out. It's like, okay, well, now what do I got to do? And, the best part about it is that we won the game. We won the game. That's literally the only reason I came here and wanted to play this game so bad, was to win this game so that we can hopefully continue to keep stacking them.
Derek, who's kind of the interview of how Mike Collins played today?
I love Mike. He's the ultimate competitor. And wow, on game day, I love the communication that we have. It's a different level, man. He reminds me so much of Devontae and the way that they both approach the game. And it makes sense because they're two of the best receivers in the whole league. And his mentality, his violent route running. You saw the one he caught over the middle on second down to get us back into a third and manageable, and took a shot. And he told me, he's like, if you got to throw it in there, throw it in there. And he let me throw it in there. He took the hit, and he bounced up. And just that mentality that he brings, it elevates everybody on offense. It means, man, I got to do that for us too. I got to match that. And I'm just so proud of him. I know it's been a long road for Mike. I know being able to start the game off big, to him down the sideline. I know how much that meant to him, but knowing Mike, he couldn't care less. He cares about the next rep, And so I think that's what we've all fallen in love with Mike. And I'm the same. I haven't been around him as much as y'all, but it didn't take long for me to see what he was about.
What makes his communication a little bit different, or something that stands out to you?
He sees things the way quarterbacks see them. He sees things, with certain reps and certain routes. And he's like, hey, when they go zone, I did this. Are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And like he was like third in the progression on that one. I'm like, but now I know if these are shut out, I know he's going to do it, bam, right when we see that. So it just helps you so much. You get to him quicker, even on that third down, I almost gave him a little second down, I almost gave him a hand signal just because I saw something. And there was one earlier in the game, I gave him a hand signal and he ran it perfect. We were about to hit it when they hit the ball, and he, I wish we had that play for Mike, but I don't know. He just sees things the way I want him as a quarterback, and it's really impressive.
What happened on that interception before half? Was it just...
I forced it. I was dumb. I was way too excited. I'll just be honest with you. I'm making every throw now. I was pissed off. I walked to the side. I was like, what are you doing? So I know it's funny right now because we won. It wasn't funny at the moment. I take it very seriously, but that was me being stupid. That was unbelievable. Yeah. When we scored that touchdown, I could help myself to start dancing, man. That was awesome. That was ridiculous, man. It was good to be on that side of it. Last year wasn't so fun. So,
Derek, how would you describe how Trevor Penning was sort of handling, look, he had some struggles, and how he was handling that, like in the huddle, and how you thought he was?
Oh, he was great. Great mentality, great demeanor. Every game is not going to be everybody's best game, and he was getting held on one that, something happened. There's so many things and so many different things. Could I have got the ball out quicker? I'm going to watch it and be critical of myself, to help him. But I was so proud of his demeanor and the way he carried himself, because no one wants to make a mistake. All of us, all 53, nobody wants to go out there and, be the one that, oh man, that was on me, like I did before the half. It crushes you. It hurts, because you want so much for your team. But the way he picked himself up, like we have a room full of grown men that, hey, yeah, I made a mistake. Let's keep going. Let's keep playing. And I felt that from him. His demeanor is the same all the time. He looks angry. He looks violent, and he plays that way. And, I love him to death, and I'm proud of the way that he was able to finish in the second half.
The ball you threw over Kirkwood in the end zone at that one point, did you think you got held? You were trying to alert to the flag, or you were trying to, I couldn't tell?
I was, I got out, and if I had time, I probably would have thrown it to Mike, but someone was in my face. Mike was coming on the over. And so I tried to give it a safe, outside shot that he would get it. But yeah, I just overthrew it just a little bit.
Derek, real quick, when you decided to come here, one of the factors was that you felt like this team had a defense, and you mentioned it before, where you wouldn't have to be constantly chasing the score, if you will, and being a one-dimensional offense.
Yep.
Is this kind of an example of what you envisioned?
Yeah, absolutely. Like they kept us in the game. They kept us in the fight. When we weren't getting touchdowns, we were having field goals. It was driving us crazy. But they don't flinch. And, they being able to play with a defense like that, we can win a lot of games, especially once we get going, and offensively, we didn't have our best, but we had enough to win, and that's what matters. And we had it when we needed it. But when you look at the defense and the way that they can play, there's going to be games that we may have to score a lot. There may be games that are tight like this. There may be games where we can get a lead and help them out. It's going to change throughout, but just knowing the type of people that are on that side of the ball, the type of grown men that are in that room on defense, that's what excited me. And I saw that today.
What's it like as a quarterback to have the confidence of the offensive coordinator to finish the game off and put it kind of on your shoulders the way they did? Because you're going to have to, you don't want to get the ball back.
Yeah. Yeah, it made my day. It really did. It meant a lot to me and to our offense that he trusted us to do it. And I take my hat off to Coach Carmichael. Pete's been unbelievable to work with. And in a crucial moment, he's like, nope, I know he likes this. I'm calling it. And he trusted us to make a play for him. And like I said earlier, hopefully we can keep doing that to earn that trust, earn that respect from him. But that's him trusting his players. And that says a lot about him and our coaching staff, especially head coach. He's a defense guy. Run the ball, take the timeout, kick it. He could have said that. He's like, no, we trust you guys. And Da and Pete let us do that, and it was really cool. I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good.
Have you guys took that late hit? Was there an extra edge in the team?
Maybe, yeah. Usually when the quarterback gets hit and makes a throw, and even though they took it away from us, I thought he caught it. But usually when that happens, the team, for whatever reason in football, whether I've been watching or part of it, they get excited. The quarterback got hit and he gets up, he's got blood on his hand. For whatever reason, people like that stuff. And I don't know if we play with more of an edge, I don't know, but I just know we executed. But you could definitely feel the energy and the excitement. Like, no, we're going to go finish this game. You definitely felt that shift from the first half to in the second half.
You take a hit to the head or the neck?
Oh yeah, I got hit everywhere. It happened so quick. He jabbed me real quick. I don't even know. Yeah, he got me good. He's a heck of a player. He was like, dude, I'm sorry. He apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, he's like, yeah, we're playing physical. I'm trying to hit you, but I'm not trying to hurt you, nothing like that. I was like, you're good, man. I know a couple of their D linemen too. I kept telling them. So I like that, man. And they started laughing. So we had a good laugh, even though my neck hurt. Yeah, because he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, man. And I was like, I think my wife's more mad than I am, But no, it's football, it's going to happen. But hopefully not all the time right in the face. Good. Appreciate you. Yep, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all chilling out as we went through those rounds of interviews in the building. Shout out to the Black and Gold Nation. Saints get the dub 16-15 over the Tennessee Titans. As we heard the breakdowns from Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, Rashid Shaheed, and others. It's a pretty good breakdown. Demario Davis, hearing his story, was pretty inspiring as well. Shout out to Demario and prayers to that brother. It's the reason why, man, faith's so strong, man. You see a lot, man. You see a lot. You deal with a lot. So shout out to that brother. Also, big game for the Saints in terms of getting the win, starting the season off on a winning note. Really, really enjoyed that. Let's look at some scores, fam, before we go into the breakdown. Right now, currently the Packers up on the Bears 7-3. The Raiders leading the Broncos 10-6. Sean Payton trailing right there to the Raiders. The Eagles over the Patriots in the start of the second, 16-0. Dolphins leading the Chargers 10-7. Just under 12 minutes. And you look at the Rams trailing the Seahawks 10-7 in the second. And then, of course, final games. The Falcons got the best of the Carolina Panthers today. That's the next team we got coming in this thing. Falcons, we heading to them actually. 24-10 over the Panthers. Pretty sure my brothers Dave and Rashad don't like that. They were talking crap to Low all day, and the Falcons laid the smackdown on the Panthers today. Bryce Young, 2 interceptions in the matchup. They go up 1-0 in the series, 24-10. Browns beat the Bengals 24-3. Jags over the Colts 31-21. Buccaneers. Shout out to Big Game James. His squad behind Baker Mayfield's 2 touchdowns, 20-17. They beat the stinking rotten Vikings in the matchup. They go up 1-0 as well. So shout out to them. Of course, the Saints sneak by with a win 16-15. 49ers over the Steelers 30-7 as well. So shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Let me bring in Pops Q to join the broadcast and get his thoughts on the game. Welcome on in, Pops Q. How you doing, sir?
I'm excited for the season coming in. I know the Saints, they got a learning process to go through with their players, because this is the first time these guys ever played together. And there were some good things. There's some good things that got accomplished. Even though Derek Henry got his yards, they kind of neutralized him in the second half. He didn't have so many big runs as he did in the first half. So they concentrated on stopping him, and they didn't seem to. And there was some excellent secondary play from the Saints secondary to kind of limit the Titans in what they could do. And I just thoroughly enjoyed the game. There was times when I thought the Saints would not do so well, but they took their lumps and they came back, and what counts is that they got the win. Even though it's about 1 point, they still got the win.
Indeed, yeah, it was a good win. It was enjoying seeing the Saints defense play as good as they did today, and really multiple sacks. There's a ton of pressures. Really, when it's all being said, it could have been a lot more sacks than that. Cam Jordan batting the ball down. He had 3 deflections. The Saints sacked him 3 times, knocked him down multiple times. Could have been 5 interceptions in this matchup. A couple of those things left on the field. So the Saints defense was astounding. They were able to minimize the rushing attack of the Tennessee Titans due to the fact that, they kind of abandoned the run to a degree with Derek Henry. So credit the Saints. Saints' only other unit that needed to step up and do anything was the offense, and they finally was able to get a touchdown, which was enough to push the Saints ahead in the matchup. So there's a lot of stuff to clean up going into week 2 against Carolina. We got to get on the road and take on them. They're going to be kind of upset that that they lost to the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to be looking for a win against the Saints. They don't want to start the season 0-2, especially when you start the season 0-2. You open up your schedule going right into the NFC South schedule, and then you go down 0-2 in the division and your regular record. So they don't want to do that. They're going to try to do what they got to do to kind of clean up some stuff and come back at it. So we'll see how it all goes. But they're upset about that. We have to take advantage of that. So yeah, definitely we got to execute better. Offensive line wise, we got to clean that up. We got to come back at them. That's talk to me, Pop, about who you favor as the player of the game. Give me a couple of players that you like that play well in the game.
All right. Well, one player that played, I'll give a shout out to the defense. The secondary, the player, the cornerbacks, Lattimore, and the young man on the other side, they were outstanding in picking off balls, causing deflections. They were right on top of Tennessee's receivers. Like I haven't seen done, in a long, long time. If we don't have any major injuries or anything like that back there secondary, they're gonna take us far, and the offense will get their wheels under them as the season goes along. Derek is starting to find some of his receivers. I know there's a lot of times the offensive line didn't really protect him very well, but he still was able to get some excellent passes off and get some completions. That touchdown was a thing of beauty, that they tossed that pass downfield and the kid was wide open. I thought that was an excellent play. Their run game, I don't know if we're going to see very much improvement in it until we get Alvin back, but it's enough sufficiently to help us kind of supplement the pass. That breakaway run up the middle. I think that was the fullback. I believe it was the fullback that got the ball and he made that great blast up the middle that gave us the first down to secure the win. That was outstanding play.
Yeah, it's interesting going into it because, like I said, I would have to say my player, well, the player of the game, multiple players, but it got to be on the defensive side of the ball, how they played. I mean, then again, you got to give credit to the kicker, the young kicker, Blake Grupe.
Oh, yes.
He did everything. So, I mean, if it wasn't for his production, if he missed one of those things, the Saints will not win the game. So, credit to the young rookie in this first matchup. Let's hope he keeps this production up and let this be the floor in which he develops going into the season. Still a lot of football left, but let's see how this all shapes out. So, it worked in the first week. We got the dub on him kicking, punting well, too. So, outside that, the focal point Derek Carr has to, you kind of see he was upset about his production. The interception really peeved him. He was upset because that shouldn't have happened. He threw it right to the dude. Just I don't know what he was looking at, but yeah. And outside that running attack, we're gonna need rushing attack. I don't expect it to be. We have 50-something odd yards of rushing against the Carolina Panthers.
Right.
Defense, Titans defense was the best last year and do that, and they're doing that. And this year it appears that they're gonna continue that. So let's kind of span ahead and look at do a mini preview for the Carolina Panthers before we kind of shake a leg on this thing. So let's see what the biggest adversaries that they lost to the Atlanta Falcons today. They're going to be looking at us, looking for an opportunity to try to get a W in their building. They always play us tough out there.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead. What we need to do to neutralize and get a win and keep this winning going against Carolina moving ahead.
Well, we got to learn how to confuse the young quarterback that they have. It's a rookie, so we've got the schemes. Got to come up with the right schemes to confuse him. Just enough to throw his game off. I didn't see any of the game. I don't know if they had how their running game was established or how their running game looked because I haven't seen any of any of the replays from that game. But we've got to stop the run, just do the basic things that we did. I mean, we did a hell of a job on Derrick Henry. I'm not too familiar with how Carolina's lineup is going to look, but we have to focus on the running game. And the young quarterback that they have with Carolina, in the past, we've been burned by young quarterbacks. Like I remember when they had the quarterback out of Auburn. What's its name? I think it was Auburn. He played for him. He used to wear us out because he ran so much all over the field. Cam Newton. And he ran all over the field on us sometimes. But after a while, they coalesced and he learned how to play him. So I think they helped us to focus and keep an eye on that young fella. I think that young fella is going to be really something special. And we got to face him again after we face him next year. I mean, next week. I expect us to get a W, but it's not going to be easier. Not going to be easy. I think we can get a W. We just got to play our game, avoid the turnovers, and we got to fix the situation with the offensive line because Derek's going to get hurt. Derek's going to get hurt. We got to be careful. We got to make sure we got to juggle them up, find out who's going to give us the proper protection. If we give him time, he's going to execute for us. He's a good quarterback. You give him the time. He's big, he's strong, and he can get the ball out to our people. But we got to protect him.
Yeah, him throwing that, and I've been saying that I was studying the film on him during the offseason. The way he throwing that, his best throw is that D ball. Yes. I mean, that dude throw that D ball out there, man, like it's nothing, and guys just run up under it. So, yeah, we'd love to see that. That's why it's always, even though the Saints offense wasn't getting going, it was still an entertaining the game. Even though, the offense was kind of messing it up a bit, it was still entertaining to see what they were going to do. And you could see they were trying the jobs, trying to break out. Then a couple of the deep balls kept it interesting in the game. We knew ultimately the Saints, hopefully they was going to score a touchdown to push this game open. September the 18th. That's a Monday. So Monday Night Football, Saints got a little extra to go. They open. That's a Monday Night Football game against the Carolina Panthers. It's going to be interesting to see how the Saints do it. Can we keep this thing going? As you see, the matchup predicted have the Saints 55 flat versus 47, 44.7 by the Carolina Panthers. So going to be interesting to see how that goes. And of course, we're going to bring in PNP, the Panther Nation podcast, Dave and Rashad, during the middle of the week to kind of go over the Carolina Panthers. But yes, indeed, the key to the Carolina Panthers, that's all Bryce Young. You know, he's a rookie, and you know, you gotta, and I kept telling him, kind of temper the expectations. First game against us, you had the advantage. Second time you see him, it's going to be a different thing because, you know, he has to get all those reps and everything is new. You're going to be showing him different looks. He's going to be confused. And the athletic edge, just like you were saying, the mobile QB threat, how do we deal with that? Tannehill was basically a statue back there. He's not much. But in terms of us playing a guy like a Bryce Young who can extend plays with his athleticism, move around, has good, you know, just have big hands. He can throw the ball up the field. He's accurate. He has a great anticipation ability to throw to and throw ahead of wide receivers and stuff like that. We just got to make it difficult. The Saints defensive line today looked really good. They kept constant pressure up on the leaky offensive line for the Tennessee Titans. They kept constant pressure up on him. And hopefully we can continue to do that against Carolina, who has some issues with their offensive line as well.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm looking forward to seeing the game, and I'm looking forward to see a maturation of our offense with Derek Carr, and as he learns more to connect with his receivers and learn them more, their ways, their habits. I was surprised I didn't see Jimmy Graham today. I mean, I don't know if he played or not, but I know he was on the roster. He wasn't. He was. Did he play any? I didn't see any plays that he was.
He was out there. They just didn't.
They didn't target.
They didn't throw to him, but he was out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause we may need him next week to catch some passes, you know, because he's got that long range, long arms, so he can go over most defensive backs, and he's got good hands. So I'd love to see him target him a couple of times just to test him out, you know, see what kind of catching ability he has, you know.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham, a big part of that red zone package. A lot of people was asking the question during the game, where's Jimmy Graham, where's Taysom Hill? Taysom was not available. They didn't have him in the first half of the game. It probably would have been a positive thing to have him out there. But when the Saints pulled him out in the second half, they were able to put him in a couple of plays where he was able to do positives. He had one where they tried to break him to the left outside. The Titans smelled it out, and they were able to stop the Saints at a 4-yard loss. But majority of the time he was out there, he did provide good production for the Black. So, yeah, they got to definitely work on it. And something tell me they're going to go look at the book and kind of refine things. But it's a lot of stuff going on. Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, those guys are fantastic. Mike Thomas was very excited to see him back in action. Jamal Williams, you need to get lanes open for Jamal Williams to be able to run the ball. That'll help out the Saints. I think this game looks differently with Jamal Williams if we can get him the same amount of carries, at 20-something carries in the game today. Imagine what he looks like a full use. That's 122 carries, all buck and some change in yardage and maybe a score there. So that kind of helps out Derek Carr too with the play action and get flowing. So yeah, we didn't see that the offensive running game was jammed up, but ultimately we were able to win it out and get the game going. So with that being said, listen, man, any last thoughts on that, Pops, before we skedaddle?
Yeah, on that play that they ran Taysom, I noticed all of the players for Tennessee went with the flow. If Taysom had thought about it, he could have cut back against the grain, and he probably would have made some more yardage than he did. But they forced him. He was running parallel. But sometimes you got 5 guys going with you. Sometimes you could turn around and run back the other way, and that'll mean they'll have to come running after you. So that'll tire them out. Sometimes you have to have the wheels thinking inside your mind to say, okay, well, here come everybody coming. Let me turn around and run back the other way. And you cut back against the grain, maybe a pop one, maybe a break one, and get a long yardage situation out of it. You got to keep the wheels, I know they've used that play excessively down through the years with Taysom running the ball. But sometime in certain situations, you can cut back against the grain. And maybe they would have gotten more yardage than they did out the play. I think, as I recall, they only got a couple because he had to go out of bounds.
Yeah, that Taysom Hill, like I said, it was tough running against them because, they stout up front. And they had not only just stoutness, but they had some athletes there too. They were able to kind of now Arden Key, who's a former LSU he did a phenomenal job in the matchup. He abused and really just obliterated Trevor Penning for much of the first half in the game. And he just ran around him. Penning was confused.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what he was doing. So, I mean, you study the tape, you look at it, you come back, and you got to fix this. We got to iron out these wrinkles because we're going to need the running attack now. If Tennessee had a more competent quarterback there, this would have been a loss. So we have to be able to iron out this stuff, and focal points have to be placed on our offensive line and running the football and protecting the quarterback. We must do a better job at that, or it's going to be a long season for us.
Yes, I agree. And I think we're going to get it ironed out. I like the squads. I like our squads, the defense and offensive squad. It can only get better. But the situation with the offensive line, and I saw the guy Penning. It looked like the defensive end just went all the way around him like he was a swinging gate. You can get your quarterback hurt if you got a guy that get confused out there.
Right. Yeah. He definitely looked like I called him a turnstile. That's pretty much what it is. When you go in the big hotels, the old school hotels, and you walk through the front there, they got the big spinning thing there.
Yeah.
You go in there, you push it around and then walk on through.
Every time I look around, the man was grabbing our quarterback. He gonna get him hurt,
Yeah. We say he was a bit of a turnstile today, man. So we got to fix that. We got to turn that around. He's a big, expensive turnstile, man. So we got to make sure we fix all that moving forward, man, because we don't want more tougher teams outside of Tennessee Titans. This is a good, tough meeting to start the year off with, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And we move forward into the year. We got Carolina up next. So with that being said, fam, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out on that, man. Listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in for the stream. Almost 5 hours today. We started off at about 11:30, I want to say, around that time, right after Tough Tiger Talk went off. We popped in here, and it's been almost 5 hours. I'd like to thank all of you guys for all of the support for the day, popping in and spending your Sunday with us at the Sports Coma, man. I hope y'all guys had a ball. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the show on your social media feed, man. We'll pop back up here on Monday, man, and we'll go over some more stuff moving into the week. We'll get some more information on some of the stuff that we're dealing with. We know that Peyton Turner had some type of issue with his foot. We'll have more on that coming into Monday, plus updates on other things, All Saints related. So with that being said, listen, appreciate all of y'all, man. We're going to get out on that. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And like I said, share the show on your social media feed. Saints get the dub. Saints win 16-15 over the Titans. They're 1-0 on the year heading into Carolina. Much love, and who that to?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Bugging like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Platform's store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.